StudentPreneur Podcast, the podcast on students who are entrepreneurs. Get motivated and keep your energy high with stories from studentpreneurs.
This week's podcast is sponsored by ID Network, a network of university associations run by studentpreneurs for studentpreneurs. If you don't have an ID network in your uni, reach out to www.idnetwork.com.au. IDEANETWORK. Welcome to episode 4. My name is Julian Marchand, entrepreneur turned PhD student. For 3 years, I've been studying students who are entrepreneurs, and I get told not to waste my time with them. They should just drop out of uni like all the other entrepreneurs do, like Jobs and Gates. Well, what they don't know is the first thing that Job did after dropping out was to hang out on campus to learn about things that he was interested in. Each week, I bring you the best of those individuals who are students and entrepreneurs. I call them StudentPreneur. This week, our StudentPreneur is Anthony Lamb. All right, so Anthony, you're currently enrolled at Monash University and you're doing a double degree in commerce and law. And you have your current business called Punchy Digital Media and you are achieving a low six-figure turnover. Is that correct? Do you want to tell a little bit more about your business?
Yeah, definitely. My business is Punchy Digital Media. We help businesses rapidly grow online using videos. And we achieve that by doing a lot of corporate video production and animated explainer videos and video marketing strategies. We've got teams in all around Australia, more specifically Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane. That's pretty much where most of our business is. So we've got a big presence in 3 of these places.
So how does this work? A customer comes to you and say, come and film us, or are you going to design something particular? Do you draw? What do you do? Yeah,
so it's mostly two cases. Usually we work with a lot of brand and marketing managers. They'll come to us. They'll know exactly what they want for their clients or for their business that we kind of execute. And in the second case, we get a lot of business owners come to us saying, hey, I know we need videos. I'm not sure where we want to start. So that's kind of where we sit down, give them a bit of a strategy session, really walk them through their entire marketing process, their sales funnel, their entire business, and just really see how we can optimize each stage using different videos, either coming out, filming parts of their videos, so parts of their business to build more trust and credibility, or kind of designing using illustrations and animations to create animated videos to get them higher conversions and sales and opt-ins on their web presence.
Wow, that's a lot of options.
Yeah. That, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I'm also running a charity as well. So I'll throw this out there.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's called James Marcon Foundation. So the website is jmfoundation.org.au. We help raise funds. It goes back to mental hospitals to create art therapy programs. And in the past, this is the third year. In the past 2 years, we've raised just over $95,000.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. We are getting a big difference in the community as well. So I'll throw that out there as well. That's a charity side.
And that's all on top of your studies, of course. How did you get started? How do you start? And how old were you when you started?
So my story is I think I started pretty young. It was somewhere in primary school. I remember I was downloading illegally some music online, burning them onto CDs and selling them off to the kids in primary school. And then suddenly
no one else did that, right?
at the stage, I was the only person who did that. So
you were the only one.
Yeah. I was making some pretty good money. I think it was, maybe it was $10, $20 a CD. So at that stage, back in those days, it was good money. And I think some of the parents kind of caught on that their kids were listening to music. There was like rap music with swearing, so they told the principal, and they came and shut me down. So that was kind of my first exposure to kind of making money within school. After that, I sold a lot of perfumes and stuff and cosmetics that I purchased online.
So not to your peers, but to you online.
No, sorry. I purchased it online and I sold it at school again. This was a couple of years later on. So that worked well. When I got to uni, we did a lot of tutoring. So we started like a tutoring center, got some kids in, got some other teachers.
How did you switch from selling perfumes to doing tutoring sessions?
Yeah, basically what happened was the perfume that I was buying online, it stopped. It was cheap at one stage, but then suddenly I think the prices and people were just were flocking online. So
Oh,
the
so
prices
they
were
knew how
expensive.
to find it directly.
Yeah. So I was cut out as the middleman.
Were you
And
buying
then,
from China?
I was buying from Strawberry Net actually.
Also from a website, okay.
Yeah. So that was my secret source back then.
And
Um,
then people caught on.
Yeah, and then a lot of people caught on. So I think it's from China. I'm not really sure where Strawberry Net's from. I'm pretty sure it's from China. It's all legit stuff. After that, did some tutoring in uni. Then I realized, I was training time for money. I wanted to change it up. So started to try to sell websites digitally online, try to sell social media.
Did you know anything about websites?
No, definitely not. Yeah, didn't know a single thing. Yeah, so for these websites, we had to create a video to kind of promote our services, and we started getting a bit of interest. And people would say, "Hey, I like the videos on your website. I don't really want a website from you. Can you sell me a video?" So then I thought, "Hey, this is a great opportunity," and kind of just leapt onto that, and kind of grew the business. And now we're about 3 years in.
So your customers told you that the website wasn't really what they were after, but what they liked was the videos.
I think that's what they said. What they probably meant was the websites we were selling weren't that great, or we didn't know how to sell a website. That was probably what they didn't want to tell us. But they were impressed with the videos that we created, and they wanted the videos, and they were willing to pay more for the videos. And it was an easier sell. It was just like a lower hanging fruit at the time, and I think, I saw that opportunity there, so I kind of dove into that, and here we are.
So that was kind of your haha moment, like
Yes,
maybe
definitely,
not the website, but there's something with the video.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely the aha moment when someone is actually offering to give you money online that you've never met before, that you've kind of exchanged. You send them an invoice and they actually pay, and you actually see the money come through. That's a big moment.
And the idea of the video, that for you, that was just one part of the solution, or that was something just you added at the end, or how did you come up with the idea of the video?
The video was just something we knew we needed to have on our website to sell the service that we were offering. We knew nobody else was doing it, and we knew videos were quite powerful. We knew that every time I landed on a website, there was a video, I'd watch it. I'm more likely to engage. It spoke to me, helps me stand out from the competitors. And I thought, great. I definitely needed a video. I figured out how to do it. I found some people to do it for me.
What do you mean you found people to do it for you?
Yeah, so we kind of had some friends around because, some word of mouth. Found some, I started writing the scripts. I figured out how to get a voiceover, and then found some designers that could actually kind of illustrate and put it together.
A uni or online or?
This was online, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Like a no desk or?
Yeah, something like that.
And now it's been 3 years.
Yeah, I think it's been almost 3 years. Not 3 years yet, but pretty close to there. Yeah.
That's nice. And when did you have time to start the James Foundation?
Yes, that happened about 2 years ago. So that was created in memory of a close friend of mine that passed away. So while he was alive, he had kind of like a vision to create an event where we kind of like sell art, raise some money, make it kind of go back to the hospital he was staying at. And he passed away, and his mum actually found this proposal that he put together, and we kind of got together, family and friends. We created, we made it happen. We made it into reality. Created an actual charity foundation around that, and this is our 3rd year in operation. And we've got a big event at the end of this year, not at the end, sorry, in October the 31st, down in the Docklands as well. So I'll shoot over an invite when that happens. Yeah, hopefully you can come down to Melbourne and attend.
We'll put the date on the website and in the show notes. Do you find like the skills that you gain in your various businesses, you use them in building the charity?
Yes, definitely. So if you're going to talk about like transferable skills, then I'd say definitely the ability to sell, or the ability to influence, and the ability just to close and make things happen. So there's
so important.
Yep, it's just that mindset, the closing mindset, and obviously the word closing is a little bit sleazy. but at the same time, it's something you really got to focus on. So kind of taking that mindset, I've kind of bring it into the charity. I've been able to kind of, speak to people, influence them, kind of move them about our story, got them to donate, got them to sponsor us, got them to, give us gifts that we can auction off. So yeah, it's definitely helped us a lot in raising a lot of money, and just that ability to sell and the ability to influence. I don't think it's something that's taught properly in schools, or in universities, or even at home. I think, there's a lot of negative connotations to the word sales, and it's really underlooked.
Yeah, or even you use the word influence, which is part of a lot of self-development books. But influence actually means telling the story the way it is, but that it has an impact on the people you tell the story to. That's what it means, really.
Oh yeah, definitely. There you go. So we use the word sales, but I think in a bigger scope, definitely influence is just that really the ability to influence. That's a crucial skill, and
how do you think the people listening to this podcast should go about learning how to sell? I mean, that's, as you said, we don't learn it at school. You will not learning at university, and you might not even learn it any day. So how do you advise to learn sales?
Yeah, that's funny. I started my background is I love personal development. I love self-help. So I picked up a product online called by Tony Robbins, and I think it was called Mastering Influence or something along those lines. I'll find the actual name. It's like it was a big 7 or 10 CD course on just how to sell, how to influence, how to use language.
Mm-hmm.
And his perspective was, you got to be able to influence yourself. Learn how to influence yourself, get yourself to do things, and then transfer that, when you communicate to other people as well. So that was kind of where I started, and I learned that, and he really spoke about how important it is, and someone needs to get sold for something to happen, for something society to move. Somebody has to get sold. A deal has to be made, and that's really where it all begins. And I've had a mentor that told me nothing happens in business until you make the first sale, and that's something
that is so true.
yeah, and that's something I've always remembered. We can sit here, we can brainstorm, we can talk, we can do everything we want under the sun, but nothing happens until the very first sale. And that's stuck with me forever.
Yeah, you can craft the best business plan ever, but if you don't close your sale, nothing happens. Yeah.
So to answer your question, definitely. I picked up a course on Mastering Influence. I'd say a lot of reading, a lot of books on sales process, influence. Robert Cialdini has a book called Influence, which is really awesome as well. I'd highly recommend that. Another thing that really helped me in terms of communication was DISC behavior, so DISC. So that's not personality; it's more behavior style. So looking at different ways that we kind of behave and how to kind of communicate a little bit better to someone so they can kind of understand you better as well. Certain skills like that, and just the ability to just close and just make a deal happen. That's super important.
Yes, we have to stress that. I don't know how many times, but that is so important.
Yeah.
So you were running, or you're still running a Punchy Digital Video. And then you're also helping out on the charity side. But then you also happen to go to uni. How do you manage studies and business?
So the short answer is I don't.
Okay, you don't.
I don't. For anyone listening, I've failed more subjects than I've passed. I'm a terrible uni student. Back then, things are hopefully changing. I'm uni again this year. I've taken some time off, but now I'm back.
So you still want to finish, right? You still want your degree?
Yeah, definitely. I think in this case, for me in particular, it's important to have the degree. Yeah, I'd highly suggest for people to listen, stay in uni. But I do want to finish my degree. There was a really good book that I read about productivity and management, which is called The Power of Full Engagement by Tony Schwartz, which again, I'd highly recommend to anyone reading this. And basically, the idea is it's not about time management because we all get the same amount of time. It's about energy management, and it's kind of like how do you manage yourself and your energy to be able to get the most output. Because as time goes on, your demand is going to increase over time. This year I've had a lot more responsibilities than I did last year. And it's kind of like, how do you manage your energy to be able to meet that demand that's continuing to increase exponentially every year. So the book goes through, how our brain kind of works and different patterns and how you should sprint and how you should rest and how you should switch modes and then having a purpose behind what you're doing. So that book has actually really helped me try to juggle a lot of balls in the air. Highly recommend that.
So I guess you've got much more energy in your business than at university.
Yes. Yeah.
I know what you mean by managing energy. That's true. Like the time is the same for everyone, but how much energy we put into what we do, that's something different.
Yeah, and I think I'm really passionate about health as well. So I think it really comes down to health. And again, another thing I learned when I was young, you can have all the resources, all the money, all the wealth, all the everything, but if you can't get yourself out of bed in the morning, then you're kind of stuck. So, taking care of your health, making sure you get the right nutrition so you can actually burn, consistent energy and not crash throughout the day, keep focused. That to me is probably the key of how to manage, business and uni, and not on top of that, you have your family, have your friends, and all these other demands are ripping you apart throughout the day.
It seems that you're very curious and you've been exploring a different path, and that you seem to learn a lot from books. You've already mentioned 3 books so far. How else do you learn, and what do you recommend in terms of blogs, podcasts, or other books even?
Yeah. I'm a big reader. I'm a huge reader. In terms of books, some of my top books I would recommend is definitely Power of Full Engagement. Another book that really kind of like tipped me over the edge when I was starting my video business was called War of Art.
War of Art.
Yes, War of Art. Not the art of war, but War of Art.
Yeah.
Yep, and that book is by Stephen Pressfield. Yep, I think that's one of the most important books everybody should read.
Why is that?
It talks about this thing called the resistance, which is basically that kind of the voice of doubt, the procrastination,
yes.
And it says, and it just kind of when you read the entire book, by the end of the book, you just know you just need to get things done. That voice never goes away, no matter who you are, how powerful you are, how successful you are. You're going to wake up. That voice of doubt is going to be there, and the louder the voice of doubt, the greater your purpose is. So if you wake up one day and you want to quit your job, be a bum, you're not going to have a voice of doubt. But if you want to go out and conquer the world domination, make things happen, the voice of doubt is going to be very, very loud. And just to recognize that and how to kind of how to deal with it. Yeah, War of Art, Stephen Pressfield. It's a book I read probably at least once a year.
So you reread it, yeah.
Yep, that's a book that I constantly reread. I'd highly recommend. Like previous to reading War of Art, look, I read all the business books, I read all the personal development stuff, and I was still kind of like procrastinating, sitting there inaction, not doing anything. But for me personally, that was the book that really pushed me over the edge.
Nice.
Was War of Art. In terms of other
so this book, like the voice you're talking about, is that the voice that says, "Oh, I'll start a startup after high school, or I started after uni, or after that," and then you don't get started like it?
Yeah, I'll get it started afterwards, or maybe it's not for me.
Oh yeah, it's not for me. Or I don't have the skills.
I don't have what it takes.
How much skills in websites did you have when you start your business?
Zero. Yeah, I still don't have any skills in video or any technical skills in video. I've got a great skill in being able to hire, influence, motivate, and or in great videographers, great animators. That's my skill there, and they do the grunt work, the operations work. Whereas my job in the business is to lead the team, create the vision, find the customers, find the strategic partnerships, and really just kind of gel the two together. That's my role. So there really isn't an excuse. If you don't have the technical skills, you can get a developer, or if you don't have certain skills, you can get someone else on board as well. In terms of business books, I'd recommend probably Built to Sell, and E-Myth is pretty. Yeah, those books will kind of give you an idea of starting a business. I think they're a great book. Anything by Tony Robbins, just to
anything by Tony. Okay.
Yeah, just to kind of get you motivated as well, because challenges will happen. So I find his content is really good to just help you get over all those hurdles. But yeah, they're the probably main ones there.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
In terms of podcasts, I'd definitely recommend your podcast.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I say that because it's important to surround yourself with other like-minded people, and I remember when I was younger, I didn't have that fortune to be able to to be around certain people. I wasn't able to find these certain people, so I'd find them in, online, in YouTube, in books, in podcasts and stuff. So, listening to different people talk, learning their mindset, learning their language, that's really valuable. So yeah, what you're doing is awesome.
Yeah, we've talked in a previous podcast about communities and being around like-minded people, and that's true. With the podcast, that's one way to surround yourself with like-minded people too.
Brilliant stuff, yeah. Especially when I was in high school, like I always had my earphones on, had these audio books going, yeah, and everything. And now with technology, there's really no excuse. Like, there's no barriers to entry, and you can reach anyone, you can hear from anyone. There's so much content out there. There's really no excuse.
And you can listen on the way to uni. You can listen at the gym, anywhere.
Exactly, anywhere. Yeah, so I pretty much make it a policy. Like if I'm cooking or if I'm driving or cleaning, like doing dead tasks, that's what I call it. Then I've always got my headphones on, just kind of sucking in information. So
yeah, same rule, man. I do my dishes. Of course, I'm putting my headset on.
yeah. Public transport as well. I think if you're taking public transport or your commute to work or to uni, and you're not using that time to absorb audiobooks, like you're really it's big waste of time. Yeah.
In terms of support, who do you rely on, and how did you find them? Talking about community again and mentors and tutors.
Yeah, so when I was young, it's definitely just books and resources, audiobooks, internet forums, that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Now I've joined like Business Network. Yeah, we've sponsored the Bayside Business Network in Brighton, in Melbourne. I'm based in Melbourne.
So the networking groups?
Yeah, it's a networking group. I'm quite active in a lot of networking groups.
How did you find those networking groups?
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook, online. If you type in like entrepreneurial events, meetups. Obviously, there's a lot out there.
Meetup.com as well?
Yeah, there's a lot on meetup.com. Yeah, if you follow most of like the business websites and Facebook pages, soon they'll kind of retarget and market to you all their events. You won't know what's good, what isn't. So just, throw yourself out there, meet people, connect, network. A bit of a tip is, I see a lot of people who go networking events, but kind of have an outcome. Like they say, always begin with the ending in mind. I think that's another self-help principle. So for myself, if I go to a networking event, like I know what I'm here for. I'm here to look for potential partnerships or potential joint venture partner. So you'd go there, you'd kind of like find out who they are and, collect the business cards, follow up, tell them, hey, we share this interest. We have a commonality here. Let's catch up at some point. I'll give you a phone call. I'll shoot you an email. How does that sound? And then create that bridge, but really kind of be proactive. Make sure you go there. Make sure you have that outcome.
That's great. That's exactly the rules of networking. And
walk out, but walk in there with a goal in mind, and obviously try to be friendly, try to be social. Nobody likes a salesperson there, so be social.
You did mention know something that you have in common, and then follow up on what you have in common. That's really important.
Yeah, definitely. So we use networking events to find strategic partners, and I think that's great. So it's easy to go there and just kind of like network, find people with the commonality.
But how young is too young though to attend a networking event, you think?
You're never too young. So yeah, there is no age limit. I've seen high school kids at networking events that were initially targeted for older, for maybe like an older crowd. So there really is no excuse to not go to an event, and you never know who you will meet. Like
you never know. You never know.
So networking is and keep in mind, I just want to share this, I'm a huge introvert as well. So
are you? You don't sound like one.
Yeah. I'm actually a massive introvert. I'm the last person that you'd think would have to go to a networking event and try to socialize. I would very much prefer to just sit at home, hide away, recharge my batteries by being alone.
And we haven't talked about mentors. Have you had mentors on your way?
Yeah, definitely had mentors. I've paid for mentors.
So you paid for them, yeah?
Yeah, so I've joined like business programs, coaching programs, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I would recommend it for someone. Like take a business course by someone. Obviously do your research. Not all business coaches are created equal, unfortunately, and
there's no real certification in Australia, I think.
Yeah, there's no real certification, and everyone has great marketing, so it's easy to put on paper or on a website. You do your research. Do your research on it. I've spent a lot of money, probably 20, 30 grand maybe, in like courses, mental.
Wow. In the last 3 years?
In the last 3 years, probably a lot more. Just the last year was probably 20 grand.
Oh, wow. The last year, 20 grand, yeah.
20, 30 grand.
But you say it's worth it, right?
It's definitely worth it. Like 100%, like, investment in yourself.
How do you measure it though?
Yeah, for me, it's fun because I'm a B2B business. If I join a network or have a mentor and just said, so this is $10,000 and this mentor says, hey, my clients, could you use your services?
Nice.
And we kind of get that referral. It's a very close connection. We can, oh, cool, we generate this business from meeting this person.
Of course, so you pick a mentor in your industry, like pretty much, or in the industry of your clients.
Yeah, definitely that works. For us, it's just kind of convenient that it is in that case. But I know, other people, you can measure it by, before and after. But, before I was making this much, now, I have this mentor giving me advice. I'm actually acting on it and I'm implementing it, which is, the key.
Yeah.
Then
it's funny how we pay for uni, but it's hard. We're very, very reluctant to pay for a coach.
Yeah, I'm actually the opposite. The reason why I deferred uni was I remember I got a bill, it was like $10,000 for a couple of subjects. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh geez, that's really heavy. But I know if I pay this $10,000, I'm not sure if I can get this back. Whereas if I paid for a coaching program over here, the extra sales skills, the marketing skills I can learn, the referrals I might get from this network, I'll easily make $10,000 back. And
the younger you do it, like the more impact it has on your company.
Yep, definitely. And I think it's a sense of accountability as well. Like I have a lot of friends, we have an accountability partners and stuff.
So your friends are also entrepreneurs then?
Yeah, pretty much most of my network now is entrepreneurs, and I think that's kind of what will happen over time. You just stay connected with people who share similar values, whether it's business or sports or health or family. Right now, a lot of people around me are entrepreneurs, and we have like a system. For example, to wake up earlier every day. And I have another friend of mine who's trying to get him wake up earlier every day. So every morning I'll text him, hey, I'm up, and send it to him. And if he doesn't do that by 5 a.m., then he owes me a drink, a couple of drinks.
Nice. That's a good support. It's
a great support system. And it's another business coach, and I call this inevitability. Like, how do you create a situation where the outcome is inevitable? And accountability, if you have accountability partner and say, hey, by next week, Julian, if I haven't made 100 sales calls, I will give you $1,000 cash. You have to spend that money straight away. And
wow.
Then next week you come, hey Anthony, did you make those calls? And I'm like, no, I didn't, and I can't prove to you that I did. Then
that's accountability. That's real accountability.
That is, and when you tell people, you tell people these things, they'll get really uncomfortable. That's a sign, okay, maybe you weren't never really that committed.
But it's important because it's quite lonely to be an entrepreneur. So you don't have a boss telling you what to do. So having the accountability to your network, that's awesome. Yeah, so highly recommend get accountability. And if you're a student, if you're in high school or if you're in university, get an accountability partner. If you've got certain tasks or certain things you need to study or complete, have an accountability partner. Say, hey, by next week I'm going to have all these notes taken, or else I will give you my car. That's a big one.
It is a big one, but it will happen.
Yeah.
It is inevitable. It's accountable, and then that will shift you. We're most humans. You can be by pain or pleasure. Maybe a bit of pain actually helps. Yeah.
Well, you've given us a lot of good tips and good example of how successful you've been. But are you happy to share with us a failure or a tough time of your entrepreneurial journey?
Most recent was probably we had a project that was a 3D project of a certain product. Our animator who was supposed to do this was referred to me by a friend in Melbourne, and halfway through he just vanished.
Just vanished. Okay.
Just literally vanished. So we could not contact him, and then that deadline just got stretched way further out, and the client was really, really unhappy about it. That to me was probably a failure in terms of like a project. In terms of other aspects, we've had campaigns where we've wasted probably like $5,000-$10,000 on marketing that completely failed
Yeah.
as well. That's a really common one.
So you learn from those mistakes though?
Yeah, you learn from the mistakes. If it's a project management issue, then you learn, okay, cool, this was the error here. Maybe we should have kept some of these elements of the project on our end as well. We back this up so we don't lose it again. We have, we hire better quality people. Marketing, you measure it properly. But yeah, it's important to really learn from the mistakes and making sure that you create you create a process that's gonna prevent that from ever happening again. Like as long as you can kind of fix that problem, learn from it, create a system, create a process to prevent it. I think that's kind of like a good thing to get out of it.
All right, thank you so much for sharing all your experience with us. What do you need right now in your venture? Help, mentor, and what is your call for action for our listeners?
Yeah, basically we're looking to go back into the States and to preferably China or Asia as well. So if anybody has contacts who are marketing consultants or marketing managers of medium-sized companies in either America or China or Asia, definitely we'd appreciate an introduction there. That would mean a lot to me. Yeah.
An introduction, yep, excellent, perfect. How do they contact you?
They can shoot me through an email, anthony@punchydigitalmedia.com.au. And for your other listeners, if you guys have any questions, connect with me on my email. If you put that email into LinkedIn, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook as well. Just connect with me on Facebook. That's totally fine as well.
Cool. I'll put the link on the website in the show notes.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Julian.
Time for a quick wrap-up. Each studentpreneur story is different, and what works for some people doesn't for others. However, I'd like to point out a few things in Anthony's journey that are similar to a lot of studentpreneurs I have interviewed for my research. He implemented a lot of different ideas to find out the one that worked, and sometimes some of them were illegal. Actually, a lot of studentpreneurs start that way simply because they don't realize it's illegal or that they are running actually a business. So that's a fact, but they don't always like to talk about it. Reading or listening to audiobooks on self-development topics is something key to help change the mindset, to accept that entrepreneurship is a viable option. Finally, the successful student entrepreneurs I interviewed value highly the support of mentors. Anthony even goes beyond by hiring mentors. You don't have to start there, but you can find free mentors by going to your local meetup and build meaningful relationships. So go on meetup.com and find a local meetup.